Welcome to the dumbest smart guy podcast on the planet. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast.
Yepers, that's right. You heard it. The dumbest smart guy podcast on the internet, or the smartest dumb guy podcast on the internet, maybe. I don't know. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast, otherwise known as ICUP. My name's Josh. I'm here today with good buddy Adam.
Yes, greetings, hello.
And,
I slurred my words there.
Yeah, well, it's cool. You're a little drunk on root beer or whatever. But anyways.
Sarsaparilla.
This is the customary No Curse Minute sponsored by our good friends over at Game Rage Magazine. Game Rage Magazine. Do you like games and are angry? Go look at somewhere else because we don't have any of those things. Game Rage Magazine. Don't read it because it doesn't exist. I don't know. Anyways, we just don't curse for the first minute. And now I think we've passed that, so we're good. All right. Fucking man. Who would have guessed but not would have guessed? I mean, Jesus Christ. India and Pakistan. Okay, obviously, yeah, we all should have seen this fucking coming. We all should have known that these two would have likely been the ones to start World War III, okay? I mean, we should have. We should have known. But in all likelihood, it seems like that's what's happening. And these motherfuckers have been fighting each other since goddamn World War II, right after World War II, right? And it's all because of those damn British, man. Those with their fucking tea and their crumpets and their fucking having extra letters in words that don't need extra letters.
Like through?
Yeah, and shop.
With color?
Yeah.
With the U
with
in
the
it?
U? There's no fucking, you don't need that. This is why they failed. But anyways, the hate between India and Pakistan does date back to 1947, which was the, as the British Empire was crumbling and India was finally like given its independence. That whole region was then split into different areas, and India proper being one, and then Pakistan being given its own like thing, which also was kind of part of India, but like they gave them their own thing. So they've been fucking with each other ever since. Now, they've had little flare-ups here and there over the last 75 years or however fucking long it's been. But this shit that's been happening recently to me has been the most egregious of the things. It's been going on for about a week and a half now. And essentially what ended up happening is there was a terrorist attack that happened in India where a gunman went into some fucking shop or some shit, and he ended up shooting about 26 people and killing most of them. So this was like a terrorist attack. The terrorist group that claimed responsibility is, of course, from fucking Pakistan. And they're in Pakistan, and India is pissed. And they're like, hey, fuck you, buddy. You can't handle your shit, so we're going to come in and handle it for you. And Pakistan's like, no, fuck you, buddy. We're going to just do what we want, and you're not going to tell us what to do. And then India says, hey, motherfucker, we got nuclear weapons. And Pakistan says, hey, guess what, motherfucker? We got them too. And now we're at this fucking stalemate where the border is now heavily guarded by both sides. And there have been some actual firefights taking place. They've exchanged gunfire multiple times over the last week between both India and Pakistan. India started some shit. Pakistan responds. Then Pakistan starts shit, then India will respond to it. And we're eking ourselves ever closer towards them just having a full-on fucking conflict with each other. And this would denote essentially the first time in, modern history, well, since nuclear weapons have been in existence, right, that two countries that are both nuclear armed would actively be fighting each other. Like, we're not talking some Cold War shit. We're not talking some we're talking hot fucking active military conflict against each other with two countries that both have the equalizers of nuclear weapons.
Can I point something out? I think there's a bit of a irony from India's side when they had that incident months ago where that leader of a proverbial nation within India, I think it was called Khalistan.
Yeah.
But the leader of that country that wanted to exist got assassinated in Canada.
Yeah.
And then we have Pakistan having a altercation with India with this terrorist attack, and fucking India's like, hey, you motherfuckers, like,
yeah.
But it's like, man, you guys did the same shit.
You guys went and killed somebody in another country?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's the difference? Like, come on, man. Just fucking chalk it up to, all right, man, this shit happens, right? Just chalk it up to that. Tell Pakistan you want the dickheads responsible and then go from there, I guess. Or tell them you're going to go get them. Whatever. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know what the option is to this, all right? But it has opened up opportunity, and I do think there is a significant escalation taking place in the Pacific theater because China has now captured this like little island chain that belonged to the Philippines that was I forget what it's called. It's called like the Mackay Islands or some shit like that. I wish I fucking paid attention more and knew exactly what it fucking said.
What's like the geography? Where is it located?
It's located near the Philippines.
Like north, south,
Sandy
east?
Cay. It's called Sandy Cay. It's a reef that's in the South China Sea. I think it's northeast of the Philippines.
Northeast of the Philippines. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like this little fucking kind of like island reef chain thing, and the Philippines has some shit there, and they're just like, oh no, dog, it's ours now. We own it, and that's that's just what's happening. That's kind of what's going to eventually happen with, the Taiwan situation. But just to circle back to the India thing, the Pakistani minister Hanif Abbasa has said that Pakistan's nuclear missiles are not for decoration. They were made for India. We have kept all these areas, missiles called Gori, Shaheen, Gaz, something, and 130 nuclear weapons specifically for India.
That sounds like
that's some shit talking right there,
that's
man.
That's some grandstanding right there.
I feel like it is, but see, like they hate each other so much.
I understand that
it wouldn't fucking surprise me if, as we get into these situations, like when you look at like Trump, right, and okay, he does all this bullshit, and then it's like you say all these ridiculous grandstand things, and then when the shit doesn't go your way because you did all these things, you thought it was going to go A and it went B. Now you either have to back out and look like a bitch, or you have to go through with fucking what the plan was with A. And so if both of them are like, nah, fuck you guys, and they're like, India probably goes, fuck it, we got more than you. We can decimate your whole country. Yeah, sure. I'm sure 130 nuclear warheads going off in India would make India uninhabitable. I'm sure that's what would happen.
I get that, and I feel like the conflict resolution is that dance they do at the border.
Yeah,
between that's the way that they burn off steam.
Yeah. But I think they need to upgrade that. All right, they need to increase the number of those or something because they really need to burn off some shit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. I think everybody knows that what's at stake once the idea of nuclear arms is talked about in serious conversations, that it's not just witnessing that, us overseas and shit. Yeah. I think that spells doom for everybody. Like the idea that a nuke goes off, I think it just spells disaster and I feel like people would desperately push for that not to happen. And maybe you can have some like ICBMs and shit. I mean, maybe you don't even need that because it's like they're right next to each other and shit. But whatever conflict is going to come of this, if it does in fact happen, it can't escalate to nuclear warfare because I think that assuredly means the end of all humanity, as it would for literally any other country entering in conflict. So yeah,
I do feel like once someone uncorks that fucking bottle,
that's not going in.
Everybody else is free to use nuclear weapons now, and that changes the game because now the only reason no one's used them is because everybody's like, if I use them on one person, everyone else that's their friend is gonna dump them on me. So like, all right, I'm not gonna do it. But India and Pakistan is like an insular conflict to itself, right? So if they're just like, fuck you, we're just going to do it to each other, everybody goes like, oh, sweet. Now my threat of using nuclear weapons, I could just do it. Because fuck it, why not? You already fucked the planet by putting all these... Because, yes, it would make likely that whole region and the whole Southeast Asian area uninhabitable because of the fallout and the carry-on and everything being contaminated. But it wouldn't just affect that area. It would affect the entire
planet.
World, for sure. And that would, like you said, spell doomsday for the human race eventually. Because all those nukes went off. It would eventually ruin the entire planet. If you had Pakistan dump all 130, I don't know how many India's got. Let's just say they got 200. If you had 330 nukes dumped on one singular kind of area, that's it. It's over. We're toast. Yes, we all may survive the explosions and very likely will, but we will after that we will be wishing that we died in the explosions in the nuclear fire because the aftermath is going to be much fucking worse for the rest of the people who lived.
And also the sheer horror of nuclear arms going off. Like, man, if seeing Oppenheimer wasn't enough for you to
like not want to do it,
not want to do it, and just seeing the visual of it. I mean, shit. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that anime where it's literally covering the nuclear explosion as it happens, and these people are being obliterated, and their organs are all over the place, and it's fucking crazy. Like, man, just imagine that and the scale at which the population of India is 1 billion people, like plus.
Yeah,
dude, that is terrifying. That is mass death, dude.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the only positive that we could get out of that is that there'd be probably like a fuck ton of cows like reincarnated back into the society, so we'd be able to eat burgers and steaks for a while until we all died of nuclear radiation poisoning.
It's like 1/8 or 1/10 of the population of the entire world that it's located in one fucking country, and then that's not even mentioning Pakistan.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, I think Pakistan's likely much less significant in terms of population, but still people nonetheless. So yeah, that would just fucking wreck everything. But anyways, we got that going on. India and Pakistan. That's probably gonna be the fucking spark that kicks all this shit off. Is them two actively going into like invading each other. And what sucks is the precedent's been set with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, right? Like the precedent's been set that no one's gonna do shit. No one's gonna do anything about it. So why wouldn't they just fight each other conventionally? No one's gonna fuck about. Like they're just gonna let them go at it. And yeah, maybe some people will send some missiles or send some cash or do some sanctions or some other stupid shit, but it ain't gonna ultimately end the conflict. And I think that as we get towards the Russia-Ukraine situation starting to wind down, in the sense, I mean, that like we're going to pull our support, because that's basically what it is looking like. And once we're out, Ukraine's toast. It's done. There's going to be no saving it. It's going to get just fucking ramshackled.
I don't know. There's tons of countries that are fucking... I mean, I don't know if it's nearly as supportive as the U.S. in terms of loans to support the war and also the military hardware, but I think other European countries are trying to compensate for the lack of US involvement. And I don't know to what degree. I couldn't tell you on an individual basis on which countries have donated. I just know in general they have been trying to compensate for the absence of the US.
Yeah, they're trying, but it's too little too late at this point. And I mean, the Ukrainians are still doing shit. I mean, they killed a Russian general, in another one inside Russia. Like they blew up his fucking car. They set off this massive fucking car bomb when he went to go fucking get in his car or whatever. This happened like 3 or 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still getting after it, and they're still trying to remain alive. But like I said, we're getting to that. Like I've said before about there's that number that once Russia has that many of active number of personnel, it's going to be overwhelming, and Ukraine can't do shit about it. Like we're reaching that point now. If we pull our support of Ukraine completely, that number becomes easily is likely already attained. If we pull our support, because our support has been the equalizer. It's been, hey, we're giving them missiles, we're giving them shit that they normally wouldn't be getting, and fuck tons of it, so that they can shoot tanks with Javelin missiles, and they normally wouldn't have as many Javelin missiles as they have an unlimited supply of Javelin fucking missiles. They have an unlimited supply of Stinger missiles to shoot down those Hind fucking helicopters and Russian aircraft. Once all that goes away, well, now those Russian assets that are fucking their shit up are really going to fuck their shit up because they're basically going to go almost uncontested because the rest of Europe isn't going to be able to quickly contribute and make up the difference for what we were putting in, because I think Europe sees the writing on the wall that if we're willing to let the Ukraine go, then we much don't really probably give two shits about them either. So Europeans are also going to have the mindset of, hey, we gotta kind of, we can't just be giving everything to Ukraine. We got to protect ourselves here, because should the Ukraine fall, I don't know that, who knows if America's going to roll in and help us out.
I don't know. I think it's cheaper. It's like the way it works in the U.S. with a percentage of the entire U.S.'s budget, right?
Yeah.
It's like pennies upon pennies for us to support the Ukrainians
In comparison to us
getting
doing
involved.
it, yes.
And that is why it makes sense for the Europeans to donate or even loan money out to the Ukrainians, because it's far cheaper than actually getting involved. And I don't know to what extent they're being supportive of that country, but I mean, the fact that they're still in the fight and they haven't gone away, and it's already been 3 years at this point, I think it bodes well for them. I mean, to some degree, at least. I mean, they're not fucking winning. I'm pretty sure they're probably more at a stalemate than anything, but I don't know if there's ever going to be a tipping point for them where they just outright lose, unless Russia just puts on a full court press. And I mean, they've already kind of technically been leading with the fact that they've already seized like some of the perimeter of Ukraine itself.
Yeah.
And I don't know what total percentage that is of, Ukraine's land, but it's not zero. It's probably like 10 or 50% of the entire land of Ukraine.
Yeah, and it's definitely higher than zero. So who knows? We'll see where it continues to go. And then we have, again, going back to China taking territory, taking little things here and there. They have been conducting massive military drills that have been just getting bigger and bigger surrounding Taiwan, and that's the thing that I foresee is the way that China's going to dump this when they finally do go for Taiwan. It's going to just look like a drill. It's just going to look like a normal drill that we've seen, but that's actually going to just be for real. It's going to end up being for real. That's what's going to happen. And I think that's why they're doing so many of these drills, is to just keep us on our toes. Like they don't know. And who knows? They might be going, every time they do one of these drills, they're like, all right, cool, this is it. We're going to do it. And then they go, all right, never mind. And they stand down at the last minute because they decided something wasn't right, or who knows. And maybe they're just waiting for that perfect fucking opportunity to just be like, okay, this time everything's good, let's go. And they go in and do it. And, especially with the tariff situation, I feel like that has prompted China to accelerate its plans. The general consensus amongst everybody in the intelligence community and like the military planning world was that China was going to be invading Taiwan in 2028. That was the deal. Initially, is what everybody was forecasting. And now that timetable, in my opinion, for sure has increased because of these tariffs and because of all this economic warfare that we're doing with China. Now they're like, okay, fine, go fuck yourselves. We'll just do this earlier. We were going to wait until our perfect exact timing that we wanted to do it, but now fuck it. We'll just take this. We'll take this piece of this chess piece off the board for you. We'll just go ahead and remove it. And again, that puts us in a bind because like we get all of our advanced chips and shit from them for the most part. And, that's going to be an issue. And like I've said many times, that's just overall in the global scheme of the picture here is if all this shit ends up happening at once, if Russia pushes to take the Ukraine off and maybe pushes even a little further than that, if China goes for Taiwan, if the North Koreans decide to fuck about with the South Koreans a little more, they all do that shit at the same time. We can't be everywhere at once. It's just not possible. So we're gonna have to choose. And I think Taiwan is number one on the list because of the shit that they make, those semiconductors and those fucking chips.
It's like the fight for the future, dude.
It is. It really is. And whoever controls that shit is gonna be the fucking the one who controls the world going forward.
Also, I think China developed some kind of thorium nuclear reactor that's supposed to change the game or some shit.
Yeah.
Let me double check that.
It's like some kind of alternative energy device or some shit. I don't know. But we'll just I guess it's and then just real quick to hit back to the Middle East or whatever. Yeah, Israel's still fucking about over there, doing that shit. For some reason, Iran had, like their major port area or whatever has like fucking just caught on fire, and it's just this massive fire that's running rampant.
Yeah, just to make a note, the reason that this thorium reactor is of note is because thorium is more accessible and less dangerous than uranium, the most common fission fuel. And the system also uses molten salt instead of water to cool the fission reactor, which is reportedly much safer in the so they found a more effective way to harness energy away from thorium, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, again, that I'm sure will change. That's this further shift towards China being the dominant global superpower. And that's where we look at this overall arcing economic issue with de-dollarization, the de-dollarization of everything. And that's part of that economic warfare that China is playing against us, is they're removing the dollar from the equation. That's why they started this BRICS thing several years ago. It's now that play is coming into this. It's coming into play now. That move is coming into play, where they set that shit up 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and now it's starting to be like, oh shit, like now they can pull the trigger on that if they wanted to de-dollarify the world and start having the Chinese yuan be or whatever BRICS buck they're gonna fucking make be the world reserve currency that people use and people go to. Everything's been traded in dollars and everything's in dollars, but now that the United States is being seen as this unreliable partner, everybody's kind of like, ah, shit, maybe we should kind of do a deal with the Chinese so that way we can, have our economy not fucking fail. And that's kind of where we get into some trouble. And again, the only way out of it, military intervention, it seems like, is the only way to get out of it or to solve it, because shit ain't looking pretty. I'll tell you that right now. Tell you that for free. Anyway, I think that's probably about it with all the updates of everything. You got anything else to add? No? All right, cool. Well, with that being said, I guess we'll check it out. Well, thanks for checking us out, and I guess we'll see you guys on whenever we do the next one.